What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Today's video, as you can see in the title, is should rugby match officials be disciplined for making silly errors? Now this question is going to be seen very differently by different people. So it could be, what the hell, how can you ask a question like that? Or some might say yes, they should be, or some might say, this is a tough one to answer. Now, before we get to it, I've been set a challenge by you guys, well, most of you guys, to get 10k subscribers by the end of the year. I would love to get that. That's a dream, it's a goal. I'll be happy to see if we can get there, but I can only do it with the help of you guys. So if you're new here, haven't subscribed yet, hit the red button so you can be subscribed to the channel, so you can keep up to date with all sporting uploads, and make sure you hit the bell icon so you can keep up to date and get the notifications. This is a dream passion of mine. I could never play the sport of rugby, so I decided to talk about it as a huge rugby fan. So for me to have reached the goal of getting 5,000 subscribers was so special for me, and it will only be a real dream if I can get 10k. So challenge accepted. Let's see if we can get there, but it's going to be a tough one. But let's get to the topic of the day. Should rugby match officials be disciplined? This is a very hard question. I saw this question online and I thought I'd do a video about it, because a lot of people have asked me to talk about the referees and what I think, and give my opinion on who I think are the good and the bad. Refereeing is a very tough game. It's a very tough thing to do. A referee can make a mistake, or they can make a decision that is right, and then the fans or the crowds or the nations turn against the referee, which is obviously tough for a referee, because they get death threats, they get hated, they get slaughtered by the fans. For example, if you watched Argentina versus the All Blacks, a ref makes a bad call, that ref is booed to smithereens. Australia versus South Africa, when that French ref made an error, Port Elizabeth booed the hell out of him. So that it must be it's a scary job to have. But what we must also mustn't forget, it is a referee's job. It's their passion to referee the game of rugby. It's their passion, because they either played it or couldn't play it and decided to get into it, to either extend their career in rugby or to create their career in rugby, because they could never play the game. So we must see it from different angles, because we all know how tough it is to ref a game, because there could be a forward pass, players could take chances, there could be tackles that one might not see. Now that brings me to my point, is where I believe, yes, if a ref makes a stupid error, and I mean a stupid error, like gives a card for no reason, or calls a forward pass for nothing that costs a game, then they should be talked to by their selectors or the management, because it costs a game, and it's not nice when we see a game get cost due to a referee error. But what must also happen is the referee needs to work with his assistants as well as the TMO. The TMO has the biggest power of all, because he can view the game, he can view the tactics, he can view the plays, he can view those errors. If he sees something wrong that could lead to a try or could disallow a try, he needs to speak up. Now I see that happening more and more in the game of rugby, where a ref will say, okay, I saw a forward pass, or I saw a high tackle, we need to go back to that. That needs to happen more, in my opinion, because sometimes a ref will make a decision and it's the wrong one, blatant wrong one, and the game continues or a game is affected. But also, who makes the final decision? Yes, the ref has the on call, but if the TMO has seen something like a shoulder charge and the ref didn't see it, so he's decided to go against it, that's wrong, because it's an illegal move. So for me, the TMO should be able to say, listen, that's a red card or a yellow card. Now in some circumstances it does happen, but we've seen refs who, for example, Nigel Owens, and before you go at me for him, I will be talking about Nigel in just a bit. When Kieran Reid, he deliberately shoulder charged one of the Springboks. Nigel was clearly looking, he had visual views of it, and nothing was done. But when you see it on a replay that not a lot of people picked up, the TMO should be able to get involved and say, listen, Nigel, you missed a deliberate shoulder charge by Kieran Reid. That is a yellow card. Those kind of decisions need to happen. And same goes if it happened for the Springboks. I'm not just saying this as a South African. It's just something we picked up. And it was all over social media, that deliberate shoulder charge. And if it happened, if Warren Whiteley were to do it to one of the All Blacks, I would agree the same thing. Yellow card. Send them off because it's illegal. Now that brings me to the man I just spoke about, Nigel Owens. Who are the refs that I think are great? I think Nigel Owens is the best ref in the world. The reason why I say that is because he explains what he does. Now, yes, he had a shocking game against the Springboks and the All Blacks, but he is a talented ref. He's been in the business for a very long time, and I think he's so good and the safest call for a game, because he does generally ref a game well. Wayne Barnes, I know he's hated by a few, but I think he's pretty decent. Jaco Paipa is very well respected. Now, he's not my favourite referee, but he's well respected in the industry. Now, for me, the worst ref, and forgive me if people get offended, but Roman Poit. I don't know why that man is still in the business, because he makes so many errors. And then I don't like the French ref who reffed South Africa versus Australia this past weekend. I do not rate him. I never have. In the past 2, 3, 4 years, I just feel he makes silly errors, or he makes decisions that don't make sense always. Don't get me wrong, he's been in the business for a while, he is well respected, but I just don't get the mistakes that the French refs make, and I don't understand why it's them that seems to make the mistakes. I see there are a few young upcoming refs who could be brilliant and capable of being the best refs in the world, but until then, unfortunately, those two are my weakest. But again, the business is a hard business, and it's tough to discipline a ref for making a mistake that they may or not miss. But if it's a deliberate error, for example, Bryce Lawrence, his career was pretty much destroyed after the semi-final, quarter-final between the Springboks and Australia, because he made pathetic calls. The Australian media agreed, New Zealand media agreed, England media agreed. Obviously there were certain people who defended him, but people agreed he made decisions, and that cost the Springboks the game. Now those kind of things, then he needs to be disciplined. He was back refereeing not long after that game. He only retired because he was pretty much slaughtered. But those kind of errors, without blatant mistakes that cost a massive game like that, refs should be disciplined for those type of errors. But when a ref misses a forward pass, then to me the touch judges need to also get involved. They have them for a reason. They have the TMO for a reason. They need to work together as one and make a final decision. And now why I bring this up is because when New Zealand took on the Springboks a couple of weeks ago, the Springboks won, there was a lot of talk that the touch judges were saying Faf was offsides or something like that, and Nigel refused to listen. Now for me, if your touch judges are pointing out blatant errors, the game should either be paused or looked at when the play has been stopped, because that's something that could cost the game. But again, if they're shouting, listen, he's offsides, Nigel should look and check, oh crikey, he's offsides. But the same goes for if there's a shoulder charge like I just mentioned that Kieran Reid did. But then Nigel went on to give Villy a yellow card for a silly error. Deante's yellow card was silly as well. And there's other red cards and yellow cards that seem to affect games. For example, France versus New Zealand. If we look at the Lions tour, refereeing decisions definitely cost the All Blacks in certain instances of the game. Yes, Lions did extremely well, don't get me wrong, but there were referee decisions. And if I'm not mistaken, Poit was involved in that series. So it's a tough question to ask. It really is. But if it's really bad, and if we go back, like a player, if a player makes a late tackle, no one sees it, they get cited afterwards because the refs go back. That should happen for a referee as well. go back. Okay, look, he wasn't looking. We'll give him a break there. But when a referee's right in front, clearly missing it, or didn't pick it up when he should be watching, or was dawdling, then maybe give them a yellow card and they miss a game. Those types of things, what I want to hear from you guys, if you agree or disagree on that, because this topic's going to definitely cause a lot of discussion. But look, I've got a lot of respect for the referees. It's the toughest job probably in the world, and I know they work hard and they've got passion and love for the game, but we also don't want to see the game be destroyed by silly errors. That is just my thoughts as a rugby fan. And a question also to you guys: should the red card disappear? My personal opinion, yes it should, because it can affect a game. Rather cite that player or ban that player after the game. Give him a yellow card, send him off for 10, they come back, cool. Then we deal with him after the game. Unless it really is serious, like a pickup and a dunk, spear tackle, red card, bye-bye, get lost. But I would like to see it be reduced just a little bit. But that's just my thoughts. Very curious to hear your thoughts, so make sure you leave them in the comment section down below. And don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon so we can hear, so you can keep up to date with all future uploads. Tomorrow is predictions time for Australia and Argentina, and then we have South Africa versus New Zealand. So make sure you subscribe for that, and I'll see you guys real soon for another video. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Give it a like even if you didn't. And let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Stay safe and never give up. Cheers.